an early Ted Cruz backer, by the way, who has said much the same thing, not the backer, but Ted Cruz is the former chairman and CEO of GE, and the guy who in large part is responsible for me and Maria, Jack Welch. Jack, good to have you.
It's great to be here, Neil. How are you?
All right, I'm fine. By the way, there'll be no cursing in this interview, young man, so just keep that in mind. First of all, before I get into politics, what did you think of Vicente Fox? And he was responding, to Donald Trump and the building of a wall and the Mexicans paying for it.
Oh, I don't worry about that. A guy's talking real talk about how he feels about something.
Okay, I think you're hiding something, but that's fine. Here's what I found alarming is Joe Biden apologizing to the Mexicans about Donald Trump. What'd you make of that?
This administration is apologizing about every day for something America does. They're embarrassed about America. It's crazy. Let's get them out of there.
Okay, so let's talk now about this race. You still like Ted Cruz. To your credit, you were early interested in him. He's got an uphill fight right now. Do you think that it is imperative that he win his state of Texas on Tuesday?
Well, yes, I do. I think he's got to win. But, Neil, the craziest thing in this election has been the idea of people calling Ted Cruz a liar. I've watched this guy for the last 18 months. The one thing this man is straight and truthful. Truth and trust go with this guy. I wrote a book about truth and trust. This guy exonifies it. I mean, let's take ethanol. He goes into Iowa with a 6-term governor and tells them we're through with subsidies. Right straight in the eye. No one else gets there. They all come around to it. Rubio always comes around to Ted's positions eventually, whether it be Apple, whether he's for it or against it. He finally comes to Ted's position. Look, I think the idea of this current meeting of calling each other names is crazy. It's crazy.
Well, you do raise a good point, Jack, that in Iowa it was very unusual for, Senator Cruz to go out and say, look, I'm not going to coddle this in, and he wins the state anyway. Donald Trump, as you know, complained about that win, said he didn't win fairly. We can get back and forth on that. I do want to get your sense, though, of now Chris Christie backing and will be campaigning today with Donald Trump.
Look, Chris Christie is a great guy and a political animal. He's been getting checks from the federal government for the last 20 years. He's going to be out of a job soon. He's interviewing for a job.
What
God
job?
Bless
what
him.
job?
He's a great guy. You pick it. I don't know whether it's vice president, whether it's attorney general, whatever. He needs a government check.
All right, well...
And he loves the political scene.
All right, but, when his term is up in January 2018, he could as easily go into the private sector. He wants to earn some money, too. It might not be calculated.
Once a political animal, always a political animal.
All right, we hope to hear from them later in this show. But stepping back and looking at business and business leaders in America, they all have their different, choices and all, but they are very, very concerned that we're going into a slowdown. We just completed a quarter, as you know, Jack, that was revised to show all of 1% growth, that they say that is not sustainable for good earnings momentum, or for that matter, keeping all their workers on staff, that we could be entering something bad if we don't do something to turn this around. What do we have to do? What would it take in your eyes? I know your allegiance is to Ted Cruz, but what would it take to goose this economy?
Well, Ted Cruz last night on the Hannity Show outlined a program that would do it. Lower taxes, some more sensible regulation, dealing with the deficit. All these things will, in fact, launch us into a recovery. But we are in a terrible manufacturing position right now. The currency is hurting our exports, but we are having some success with the consumer because of the lower gas prices are giving them more buying power. You saw the Home Depot, the home improvement results from Home Depot and Lowe's. You're seeing a consumer spending that's more robust than you are seeing an industrial sector, which is really in trouble.
You know, I just found it odd that Jack Welch mentioned Home Depot. Have you ever even been in Home Depot?
Yes, I have, and my friend Ken Langone tells me about it every day, Joe.
Okay. I'll play along. Let me ask you about this dust-up with Donald Trump and his taxes, Jack. He says he can't submit them right now, that he's being audited. I've talked to CPAs and the like who say he has no obligation to release them, nor should he. Governor Mike Huckabee here with me earlier saying there's only hell to pay when you do because they pick apart everything about him, and there's nothing to be gained doing it. How does Jack Welch stand?
Well, Romney got beat up. He waited until September, so we'll have to see. I mean, that's Donald Trump's decision. That's whether or not he raises suspicions by not doing it or avoids trouble by not doing it.
What do you think the suspicions would be?
I think Romney laid him out nicely.
Okay. I'll remind people, as you artfully dodge this question, that what Romney was saying was that Trump is afraid of revealing that he's not as rich as people think he is, and that he doesn't give as much to charity. What do you think, even if either or both were true, whether that would be a big deal?
I don't think Trump's supporters, these angry folks, are going to change their view. Look, Donald Trump, Peggy Noonan today in the Wall Street Journal has a great article about the Trump phenomenon. The insider versus the outsider. Beautiful article describing a group of people that feel they've been getting screwed by the insiders of the Republican Party.
All right.
A lot of us feel that way. That's why I supported Ted Cruz in the beginning. Ted Cruz is the first one to call this crowd a cartel, to call them for what they were, and that's why I supported them.
All right. Well, you didn't go quite as far as Vincente Fox, but you used a bad word. But Jack Welch, nevertheless, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you.
I love talking to you, Neil. Thanks for having me on.
Same here, my friend.